What if I told you that the very moments that test us the most, what if they're precisely where our greatest happiness truly begins? It sounds pretty counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Really does, yeah.
We usually think happiness is, life without hardship, smooth sailing.
Right, the absence of struggle.
But today, we're going to really dig into that, maybe even challenge that whole idea.
I think that's a great place to start. This deep dive is all about uncovering that transformative power hidden in adversity.
Transformative power.
Yeah. We're going to explore how facing difficulties, personal setbacks, challenges at work, even those big shared global things, how that doesn't just help us, survive, but can actually reshape us. Our physical selves, our minds, our emotions, for the better. It's about finding growth and, yes, even joy through the tough stuff, not just waiting for it to be over.
Right, not just after the fire, but in it. So our mission today is to unpack how we humans don't just endure challenges, but can actually genuinely thrive because of them.
Exactly. Finding these surprising paths to, deeper satisfaction, a richer appreciation for life.
So let's start there. Are challenges really just inevitable? And how do they kickstart this growth?
Oh, they absolutely are inevitable. I mean, look around. Challenges are just woven into life, aren't they?
Seems like it.
And they're not just obstacles to dodge. They are really these undeniable catalysts for growth, for development.
Okay, catalysts. How so?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Every single time you navigate something difficult, you're building resilience, aren't you? You're strengthening that sense of self-efficacy, that core belief that, you can handle things. And ultimately, that fosters a greater sense of well-being overall. It's like mental and emotional exercise.
That's a good way to put it. Exercise for your inner self. And it's not just about our own personal struggles, right? You mentioned shared experiences.
Yeah, that's a huge piece of this. There's this concept called collective trauma.
Collective trauma.
Right. It's the psychological distress that a large group feels after some shared devastating event. Think about things like pandemics.
Like COVID, yeah.
Exactly. Or major economic downturns, natural disasters, big societal shifts. These things hit entire communities, even generations. They shape collective memory, identity, sometimes for decades.
Wow. Okay. So how does a community even process something like that?
What's fascinating, really, there's often this powerful process of constructing meaning from the event, trying to make sense of it.
Making sense of trauma.
And it can be really protective. It helps a group understand the unthinkable, create a narrative to move forward.
Right.
But, and this is important, it can also be a trap.
A trap. How?
If the meaning they construct is one of, say, being perpetual victims or needing to be constantly hypervigilant.
Like always on guard.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It can leave people sort of frozen, unable to separate the trauma from who they are now. We see this sometimes with communities affected by historical conflicts or disasters. The past trauma keeps defining the present instead of just informing their strength.
That makes sense. You think about maybe the generation that grew up during the Great Depression, how careful they were with money.
Exactly. Or how 9/11 shifted everyone's sense of security, even if you weren't directly there. That shared emotional residue, it changes things.
But even with all that difficulty, can there be upsides to shared adversity?
Surprisingly, yes. Look at the pandemic again.
Yeah.
Amidst all the hardship, there was this incredible burst of creativity, right?
Yeah. Restaurants building outdoor spaces overnight.
Totally. Delivery models changing, doctors repurposing gear. It wasn't just about immediate fixes. The healthcare industry learned huge lessons about policy, about crisis response that will genuinely improve things long term.
And it's not just practical innovation, is it? It feels like it can strengthen communities, too.
Absolutely. Think about after the Parkland school shooting in 2018, a truly horrific event.
Awful.
But out of that shared trauma, those students came together. They organized this incredibly powerful national movement.
Right. March for Our Lives.
Exactly. And it led to actual changes in gun laws in several states. That kind of collective action, born from shared pain, it builds these deep community bonds. It can spark real social change. It shows you the human spirit finding purpose even when things seem darkest.
It really does. So these challenges, they're not just individual hurdles. They can transform whole groups.
That's the takeaway. Collective transformation is possible.
Okay, so challenges are inevitable. They can bring communities together. But let's bring it back to us individually. How does navigating my own hardship make my life richer?
Mm.
This is where it gets really interesting, right? This idea of post-traumatic growth.
Yes. Post-traumatic growth. It's a term that captures something people have known intuitively for ages. Nietzsche's famous line,
"What doesn't kill us makes us stronger."
That's the one. And it turns out it's not just some philosophical flourish. Modern research is actually backing it up.
So it's more than just resilience, more than just bouncing back.
Oh, definitely. Resilience is about returning to your baseline, bouncing back. Post-traumatic growth is different. It's about how overcoming adversity can actually increase your capacity to appreciate the good things later on.
Increase appreciation.
Yeah, it's like a fundamental recalibration, a shift in perspective that lets you feel joy, maybe even simple joys, more intensely than before the trauma hit.
Wow, okay. And this connects to something called savoring, right?
Exactly. The savoring phenomenon. Get this. Researchers surveyed like 15,000 adults about traumas they had experienced.
15,000.
Okay. And they found, perhaps unsurprisingly, that people currently in deep difficulty struggled to enjoy simple pleasures. But here's the fascinating part. People who had overcome serious difficulties in the past showed a much stronger capacity for savoring life's small, everyday pleasures now, in the present.
So getting through the tough stuff actually trained them to appreciate the good stuff more.
It seems that way. There's this great example in one study, a client named Karen. After a really tough divorce, she started noticing things she hadn't before.
Like what?
Like the dimples in her daughter's cheek when she smiled. Or just the feeling of getting a simple hi text from a friend. These small moments suddenly felt precious. And what's really key here is that this wasn't tied to her personality type. It strongly suggests savoring is a skill you can learn, something that becomes available because you navigated adversity. Confronting loss or pain seems to reset our baseline for what feels good.
That makes everyday joys pop more.
Exactly. They stand out with more clarity, more vibrancy.
This ties in beautifully with positive psychology, doesn't it? That whole idea that our circumstances aren't the main driver of happiness.
Precisely. Positive psychology tells us only about 10% of our happiness capacity comes from external stuff. Our job, money, winning the lottery, whatever.
Only 10%.
Right. But here's the empowering part. A whopping 40% comes from what they call intentional activity.
Intentional activity.
Our choices, our behaviors, our thought patterns, how we choose to engage with the world. That means we have a huge amount of influence over our own happiness, no matter what's going on externally.
That's incredibly hopeful.
It really is.
Yeah.
It puts the steering wheel back in our hands. And building on that, Martin Seligman, a pioneer in the field, gave us the PERMA model.
PERMA, right.
Yeah, it's like a blueprint for a flourishing life. It stands for positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment.
So it's a framework for building well-being.
Exactly. And it's not passive. Fostering positive emotions isn't about pretending sadness doesn't exist. It's about actively seeking joy. Engagement is about getting lost in challenging activities. Meaning is connecting to something bigger than yourself. Relationships, accomplishment, they're all things we actively cultivate. Especially when things are tough.
Okay, this is all fascinating, but let's make it practical. How do you, listening right now, actually use these ideas? How do we build resilience and joy in our own lives? Where do we start?
Great question. Let's start with something foundational. Mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about it.
For good reason. It's incredibly powerful for navigating challenges because it trains you to focus on the present moment.
Why is that so important?
Because our stress response usually kicks in when our minds jump to worrying about the past or freaking out about the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Mindfulness helps calm that down. It's about being with what's happening without judgment. A really simple practice, you can even try it now, is called relax, calm.
Okay.
Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, focus gently on your breath. As you inhale, just mentally say relax. As you exhale, mentally say calm.
Inhale, relax, exhale, calm.
Yep, your mind will wander. That's normal.
Yeah.
Just gently bring your focus back. Over time, this literally trains your brain to stay anchored, to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting.
That feels doable. A good starting point. What else? I know you mentioned stoicism earlier. People sometimes think that's about just sucking it up.
Right, that's a common misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That it's just about repressing emotion.
Yeah.
But it's actually much smarter than that. It is a tool, yes, but it's a healthy one.
Huh.
Almost. Prophylactic.
Prophylactic, like preventative.
Exactly. It's designed to prevent emotional distress before it takes hold. It does this by helping us get really clear on what we can control versus what we cannot.
Ah, the classic Stoic distinction.
Right. It's about managing our internal reactions, our beliefs, not trying to wrestle the external world into submission, because you can't.
So it's not about not feeling, it's about managing what you do with those feelings or the thoughts that cause them.
Precisely. As someone wisely said, pain is not the way. It's okay, in fact, it's vital, to be kind to yourself, to use mental tools to ease suffering. Stoicism helps you judge. Is this worry actually useful? Is there an action I can take?
Like planning versus worrying.
Exactly. Planning for a potential challenge, say. Updating your resume if you're worried about layoffs, that's productive.
Right, actionable.
But worrying endlessly about if it will happen or about economic forces you can't influence, that just drains you. Stoicism helps you focus your energy where it actually matters.
Channeling energy efficiently. I like that. Okay, what about building resilience directly?
Another really powerful way is the strengths-based approach.
Strengths-based. So focusing on what you're good at.
Yes, but it's broader than just, like, job skills. It's about recognizing the strengths you already demonstrate, even in everyday life. Maybe strengths you don't even see as strengths.
Hidden strengths.
Kind of. Think about it. If you've managed to keep doing something over time, despite obstacles, despite limited resources, you've already shown incredible resilience.
Give me an example.
Okay, imagine someone raising kids on their own, maybe with not much money. The day-to-day stuff, managing budgets, finding creative ways to make meals fun, juggling schedules, just keeping it all going.
Yeah, that takes a lot.
It takes immense problem-solving, resourcefulness, creativity, persistence. Those are strengths. This approach reframes challenges as fodder for resilience practice.
Fodder for practice.
Yeah. It flips the script. Life becomes almost win-win. If things go well, great, you win. If things go badly, okay, you have another chance to win by practicing resilience, by overcoming. It helps you embrace challenges, not just tolerate them.
Turning hurdles into opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, so mindfulness, stoicism, strengths. Are there other, maybe more holistic strategies?
Absolutely. We need to think across different dimensions. Physically, getting enough rest is non-negotiable for managing stress. It's not a luxury.
Foundational.
Totally. Regular exercise, balanced meals, the basics matter. And finding healthy ways to relax, like reading or painting, whatever works for you. Avoiding using substances as a primary coping tool is also key.
Right. And mentally.
Mentally, be smart about information. Stay informed from reliable sources, but avoid that endless doom scrolling.
Guilty.
We all are sometimes. If you're facing a specific problem, try writing it down. Break it down. Problem solve. Structure your time. Set small, achievable goals. This stops your mind just spinning.
Keeps you moving forward.
Exactly. And remind yourself of your strengths, your past successes, even just telling yourself, I've always figured things out somehow. And crucially, plan something to look forward to, even if it's vague. It reminds you there's a future beyond the current struggle.
That hope is powerful. What about emotionally?
Reach out, connect with people who care about you. It's strength, not weakness. Recognize you're likely not alone, and how you feel that we're all in this together thing can be really comforting.
Yeah.
And offering support to others, that can be incredibly powerful for shifting your own emotional state. Don't shy away from processing difficult feelings, maybe through writing. Remember, tough experiences often lead to growth and meaning down the line.
It sounds like embracing discomfort is part of this too.
It absolutely is. You have to intentionally push your comfort zone sometimes. Do things that feel hard, that build your tolerance for discomfort, and it builds self-confidence like nothing else.
The goal isn't to be comfortable all the time.
No. The goal is to become a version of yourself that isn't so easily made uncomfortable by life. You can't change the world's challenges, but you can change how they affect you by making yourself stronger, more adaptable, like building a muscle.
Right. And underlying all of this, it feels like self-compassion is key.
Hugely important. Treating yourself with kindness, especially when things are hard, actually reduces anxiety and boosts motivation. It's about recognizing that ultimately you alone are responsible for how you live your life, and you alone can change it.
Taking ownership.
Yeah. I remember hearing this story about someone who'd become really withdrawn after some setbacks, but by consciously choosing self-kindness and believing in their own ability to change, they eventually stepped into leadership roles, found joy in helping others. They realized the power was inside them all along.
Wow. It really is a journey of shifting perspective, isn't it? Moving from avoiding challenges to seeing them as opportunities.
That's the heart of it, a fundamental shift.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels really clear. Challenges, unavoidable, but also these profound opportunities. And if we actively use these strategies, mindfulness, a growth mindset, leaning on our strengths, getting support, being kind to ourselves, we don't just get through hardship. We can actually come out with like deeper appreciation, stronger connections,
Yeah.
a more real sense of happiness.
Exactly. The real joy isn't just when the pain stops. It's in the growth itself. It's in the meaning you find, the surprising delight that can bloom when you decide to lean into the discomfort, knowing you have the power to turn adversity into something valuable.
It's that resilience muscle again.
It is. It just speaks volumes about the human spirit.
Like that saying, right? It's not how hard you hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
That's it. Your capacity to endure and, more importantly, to grow through it all.
So a final thought for everyone listening. What's that unsolvable problem or challenge in your life right now?
Consider this. Could it actually be an invitation? An invitation to discover a hidden strength inside you, just waiting for you to find it.
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the happiness of overcoming challenges. We look forward to our next exploration together.